Call the meeting to order.
Jenkins?
Here.
Hahn?
Here.
Harden?
Here.
Discovery?
Yes.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The very first thing that we have on this evening's agenda is a presentation by Steve Frederick. Sir, you have the floor.
Hey. So we decided to hit you guys up early. So, for the extravaganza this year. And, let's see. Here we go. We're moving it this year to a Saturday. The first year was kind of crummy with the weather. Last year we moved the date up. And then, this year we're moving it to Saturday, so hopefully we need a better turnout. You want one? Oh, yeah. Free advertising in the paper? Oh, yeah. All right.
Thanks, Steve.
Awesome. So we just, about the same deal as last year. They have racing, hopefully it'll turn out better than last year. We'll get more people involved and lower the price of it. And I think Quinn said we're going to add a semi-class to the show. And then if you look on the paper, we're going to have after everything, awards are handed out. We're going to have a rodeo, motorcycle rodeo. Then we're supposed to have a concert in the evening. And overnight camping, and so people won't have to leave. It's Saturday, so it should be a little better deal than Sunday. And that's about it.
How much are you requesting again this year?
Same as last year.
What was that? 2,000. Are you available February 16th? It's a Tuesday.
Sure.
Can you put that on the following agenda? And we will discuss it and then vote on it that day. And then if you can just be here to answer any questions, we would appreciate it. That's
Sounds
a
good.
Tuesday. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
According to the agenda, the public comments are at the back end of the meeting. However, a number of the public comments wish to speak to items in new business. I am therefore going to move those public comments up into before Section 1 consent agenda. That way we can have a fair hearing before we discuss or even vote on those particular resolutions. I will call on you in order in which you presented your request form. Please note there is a 5-minute time limit. So Russell, you have the floor.
Okay. Well, I'm here to voice my opinion about the increase in sales tax. Do I understand there's going to be a public hearing on the 7th of March?
We will...
Yes.
No. We are most likely going to move that up.
To...
We will need to discuss that. I'm going to recommend that we do it on February 29th.
I'll probably keep most of my comments for then. I assume that's open to the public.
That will be
Okay.
open to the public.
I've been here in Farm City for a long time. I've been in retail business for 40 years here. And believe it or not, this is my first time I've ever been here to town meeting. Farm City's got 3 things really going for it. It's got the interstate, which gets people here from Bloomington and from Champaign. We have Clinton Lake, which lots and lots of people filter through here, helps all our businesses, and we have low sales tax. And to increase the sales tax is going to have a big impact on our business. We sell higher dollar items. On average, this 1% is going to be $150 to $450 or more as additional tax. And
Help me out, your business?
pardon, cabinet land
Okay.
out there in Fairhaven.
Yeah.
If you ever been out there, okay.
I don't think I've had the pleasure of meeting you. Of course, we probably have, but I definitely make a family, yes.
I only know what I read in the paper so far, but I think some of the figures are erroneous.
Which figures?
All right, if it was correct, the paper quoted you as saying this 1% would collect about $40,000?
Yes, this is according to our consultants. So,
You better hire another consultant.
well, we are discussing.
If my math's right, that's $4 million in sales along Route 54. You got some big hitters out there, and it's not me, they're alone gonna have more than that. And I think that figure's gonna be closer to 5 to 10 times that amount. Which is why I don't think you need a full 1%.
And we don't have to go with the full 1%. So, I mean, that is something that we'll discuss. Setting up the business district does not set the tax rate. We can set the tax rate from there. You can do it in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, 0.75, and then, of course, the 1%.
Yeah, I was a little shocked at 1%, because
1%, it could go up to the 1%, it could go up to the 1%, and
Yeah.
you have an extremely valid point, because what
Yeah.
makes you competitive with organizations in Champaign and Bloomington is that you can, and your current sales tax is at 6.75%, correct?
6.25.
6 1/4.
We also
So
have a store on the outskirts of Springfield, which is also 6 1/4.
if we were to raise it up to 1%, my question to you is, would you still be lower than your competition?
Most of them, we would be, but you're asking people to drive a long way to get here in the first place. And,
I understand.
Bottom line, yeah, it would be.
And we would still be lower.
It would be lower, but you know what? They got a little better shopping district over there than we have here in Farmer City too. So we gotta give it. And it's just, I'd say 1 out of 10, because most of our product is kind of a semi-negotiable thing, and I would say, and when our competition prices it, they never put the sales tax on, so we're nice enough to put the Champagne sales tax on with the price they have. But, it's a big deal for us. I'd say 1 out of 10 of our sales, big sales, sales tax is an issue.
Okay. Did you, because you said that when you read the paper you didn't necessarily fully understand.
Well, I understood it, I just didn't know for sure it was 100%.
Do you know what those business what
Yeah,
that tax dollars would be used for?
yes.
To help the business.
As long as it was correct, I understand.
Yeah, help the businesses a little bit, period. Do you have any other comments, sir?
Well, just, no, I'll say.
Very good, nice to
Thank
talk to you, yes, sir. Thank you very much for your comments. The next person on this evening's see public comments would be Jerry. You have the floor. Yes?
Yeah, a month ago I was in here and so about the flooding up in my barn area, and I showed this to Larry, my tax receipt and everything, and he said that property wasn't in the city limits. It was put in the city limits back in 1922. When John Kendall was mayor.
Is this for us? Just give her a copy. Okay. Well,
And is that enough proof for you now, Larry?
It's not an issue with me, Jerry.
Well, why did you said I had to go get it documented? You said you didn't believe
Mr. McKinley,
that
Mr.
this
McKinley.
property.
Yeah, but you're addressing, you've asked to address the city council, and we are the city council, Larry's the
And
city
he said
manager.
my property wasn't in the city limits,
Okay.
right?
I did make that comment, right?
I believe his comments were he checked with the township, and the township told him that it wasn't, so I don't think that this is, I mean, properties in the city limits, we see that, but,
You don't believe yet?
no, I just said your property is in the city limits.
Okay.
Very good. Yes, sir.
So my township man, he shouldn't be responsible for that road in front of my barn.
Should the town, yes. Is the barn in the town, is in
Yeah.
the city, yes.
Yeah, the city should be involved. They should be responsible for that road.
For the road.
Right.
And they're not being responsible for the road?
They're doing okay by as far as I'm concerned, but
Okay.
he told me that it was his road now, since the city said it was outside the city limits.
Okay. Then it would be ours.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a bill, because I went down to Clinton and got this information. When you have a paid employee, when we have a paid employee to do this. Okay, my second thing is about police. They broke out a window in my barn.
When?
When?
Yes.
It's been quite a while, but I got a copy of this for here. When was it? Just 3/23/13. And he knew what I was going for. And the first one he gave to me is when they broke into my garage up there and broke out a car window. I had to go back and get it. I took it back the next morning. I said, this is the wrong thing. And he got all upset and mad. And I said, what are you getting mad about?
Is the date on this correct?
Yeah, I mean, I've
So from
worked on that.
2013?
Yeah, I've worked on that for 3 years now to get that much.
Okay.
They should give you that after you call the police in, because I called the police up there to investigate that, and I said something to them several times, like at the restaurant and different places. I will get it for you. And they didn't do it.
Who are you talking to?
What are you trying to get? I'm confused.
My understanding is you were trying to get a police report
Yeah.
since
Okay.
2013, and you just recently received it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they shot out a window, the big window in my barn.
Somebody shot it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the police didn't shoot it out. The
Huh?
police didn't shoot out somebody.
No, someone else
They
did
just
shot
didn't give you, they just didn't give you the incident report.
Yeah.
I've heard that complaint before from other people.
Okay.
And you talked to,
Dano.
Okay.
And he, like I say, he was getting all mad, and it was right out front here, and I said, wait a minute, what are you getting mad about? Because we asked him to do his job.
Well, we can look into it, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
do you need anything additional other than that? Do you need anything more?
Yeah.
No, I mean, on that police report though, is that all you need?
No, I just got to find.
Just took you 3 years to get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
They're on the ball.
Charles, you have the floor. Yes, sir.
Mine's pretty quick and basic. Just after looking at the TIF district map, the new proposed TIF district map, I have the building at 701 East Richardson, which is missed by a half a block from the corner of Dodge Street and Route 150. And I really think by the inclusion of that building into that TIF district, I could really do some good. There's plenty of room there. I've already spent a lot of money on that building, upgrading. Some exterior improvements would really help me bring in some really good potential business to that facility. So maybe if we could, we're talking another half a block. Yeah, we're moving another half a block.
701 East Richardson, if we could have, send them out, assuming that we move forward on that.
Sure,
We'll
sure.
make sure that property gets included.
Yeah, I just want you guys to look at it maybe one more time and see if that may not be able to be added into that, because it's not much of an extension on where you guys have it drawn out. proposed.
Yeah, and we're still working on the boundaries.
Sure.
If we were to move forward with the things tonight, that's not setting the boundaries tonight.
Sure,
That's
sure.
still going, but no, thank you.
But I just want you guys to look at that one more time. I mean, 'cause you have,
Absolutely.
there's a couple businesses there too, like you have Dewey's property there also. And it's not moving that much further, but there's a lot of room there to do good. I mean, I've already done a lot to that
You
property.
get the detail shop, right?
Oh, there's been detail shops, a t-shirt shop. There's a guy that makes implant teeth for dental. He's been there for 5 years. It's not a big sales tax thing there, but it is a business that's been there for 5 years already. And I can go a little bit further if I can get some exterior improvement, because I have put a lot of money into that building.
Very good.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Thank you.
Just something to consider. Just briefly.
What's your business?
I don't have a business there. I'm just the owner of the property.
I see.
Yeah.
There being no further public comments, we move on to section 1, the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second it.
Call it?
Jenkins,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
motion carried.
There being no unfinished business, we move to section 3, new business.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2016-1, agreement for technical services and assistance for business district number 1 with Miranda Economic Development, excuse me.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
Gentlemen, the way that this was discussed at the council meeting, and to understand correctly where you wanted to go with this would extend to the northern boundaries of the city limits along the corridor of Route 54, come south, encompass Perhay Plaza, and go on west until it reached the South Drive. South Drive would catch the little cafe out there, the Pancake House. So that's the area that Business District number 1 would encompass. Now, that's generally speaking because, if you remember correct, Keith Moran said that we would have to get our engineers and a legal description would have to be drawn up. So this right now is just for him to proceed if you want to have him work on this Business District number 1.
That doesn't include the lot out there in front of Prairie Ridge, does it? That's a commercial space. That might be interesting to
Does
have.
not go that far. We stopped at the Pancake House.
It wouldn't be any detriment to going to that.
Should we go that far?
I mean, it's what, two blocks, or, I mean, it's not that further. There's already,
That would include Dr. Ray's office then.
well, you wouldn't have to, you could draw that parcel in and not have Dr. Ray's in there, or not have the place across the street either, if you wanted to.
Well, you might be like this guy here and want to be in it.
Yeah, and if somebody wants to be, sure.
And depending what went in out there, Josh would possibly be covered under TIF 2 funds.
It is covered in tip 2 out there.
It would be TIF too, right? Okay.
Call it?
Vaughn,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
motion carried.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 2016-2, agreement for technical services and assistance for business district number 2 with Miranda Economic Development.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
And this is the zero.
I'm
right?
sorry,
No,
yes,
go ahead.
this is the area currently downtown, from Illinois Route 54 to the south side of the intersection of Main and High, which is basically the area that you folks had decided that you wanted covered in a business district number 2 with no tax increase.
Call it?
Harden,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
motion carried.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2016-3, agreement for professional services for establishment of tax increment financing area with Miranda Economic Development.
I'll second that one.
Discussion?
Keith Moran did bring in a copy of the general area of the proposed TIF number 3, and With that, we can also include that new parcel that was just discussed tonight. Again, the only thing that this does is allow him to proceed. Legal descriptions have to be drawn. There's still a lot of legwork that needs to be done before he brings it back to you folks for a final vote. But this allows him to proceed with his work.
But these boundaries can say cabinet land, for instance.
No, the cabinet land discussion is the business district.
Okay.
Same theory, no,
Okay.
we're not.
It
we're not
is the
setting-
same theory, yes, you can make adjustments.
Yeah, we're not setting the exact boundaries tonight. Okay.
Call it?
Testori,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Hahn,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
motion carried.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2016-4, approving a donation to the Farmer City Heritage Days Committee up to $10,000.
I'll second it.
Discussion, and we have a few representatives from the Heritage Day Committee here in case there are any questions to them. The 10,000 is coming out of the hotel motel tax, correct?
Correct.
All right, so it's a non-budgetary item. How much does that go on here? I
It
don't.
varies.
Huh?
It
Okay.
varies.
Estimate,
30.
okay.
I have a question on it. I know I've asked you this in private several times, but I want to ask you on the table. Is this the city's function, or is the city sponsoring an organization?
Is this a
to do
city's
this?
function? I'm gonna have to say, I mean, yeah, they're covered under our liability, I mean, our insurance. I mean, if you wanna go back to, the genesis of it, I believe right after the 175th, I approached, good night, I think it was it Felicia and, Elizabeth Folks? And asked them if they would consider moving forward with this every year. So it's under the umbrella of the city.
Okay.
It's our insurance. So they're our tax ID number. Am I right? So yes.
Who is our city representative on that committee?
Yeah, yes. I'm on the committee.
You're the representative? Okay.
Sure. I mean, I've never been given that title, but
He's
yeah.
never been from the city. We've never said, Josh, you're that person. Josh is
But I am on the. I'm on the committee. I'm on the council.
I'm seeing a potential conflict if he's on the committee and we're voting to give them the money that the committee's on.
Well, I was going to abstain from voting.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
well, it's the same thing. I mean, I'm on the, I think American Legion, the Veteran of Foreign Wars, and every time we vote on something like that, you abstain from that vote. So,
Well, here's the other situation I found. I did some research on this, and I found that of all the places that I've talked to, the largest donation any city gives is $5,000.
we're better than that.
So if we're providing the insurance and police officers, and we're incurring expense on top of that.
You know, of course, I don't know which cities did you talk to? I mean, what are the different cities?
Gibson City, Leroy, Clinton, Mahomet.
One of the disadvantages that this community has towards many of those cities that you listed is the amount of, is the economy, is the different economy right there. I mean, majority of our, I won't say majority, I would say a huge percentage of our students are on low income. We don't have a ton of businesses out here that can support this, so it's gonna have to be a heavy city marshal. I don't see any discrepancies there. That's my personal thought.
And last year was approximately 7,000 is what the city put in.
Okay.
Not the
Well, then
full
let me make a motion to reduce the contribution to $7,000 then.
It wouldn't be a motion, it would, because of the resolution is approving a donation to the Farmer City Heritage Days Committee up to $10,000. We therefore can set the amount here today. And on that question, I would then probably, if you don't mind, bounce it back to the Heritage Day Committee and ask you what ramifications, or if we reduced it to $7,000.
We could do a lot this year. The difference between us and the other towns you're talking about, so Mahomet, their biggest donor, it's not even their city that puts it on. Our city gets no money back from it, our city gets money back from it, we make money off our carnival. Their biggest donor is Fisher National Bank, they pay $17,000. We don't have a business here that could give us half that. So, I mean, if we're bringing in a National Act Entertainment to bring in 15 to 3,000 people on Saturday night, first of all, we have to double our porta potties this year. So you're talking $2,500 just for porta potties. We have to have a rain policy, event policy, so that if it does rain that day, we have something to cover us. That's, you're talking $1,500 to $2,500, depending on how much we cover it for. So and I mean, we've been pretty good about, I think for the last couple of years, is we don't take any more than we absolutely have to. Larry says, let us know closer to the time. When the time comes, depending on how many donations we've had brought in, we take only what we need.
How much has been donated so far, you know? I know Clark Foundation has put up some.
We're just in the beginning stages of getting, Clark Foundation's been our biggest so far, 5,000.
All right, in comparison, Muhammad grew into their event, and they have a committee that works on that year-round, from the day it ends to the day.
And we have a committee that works on our event
year-round.
Year-round?
And we are busting our butts, and we are volunteers, so, I mean, my point is that we're all volunteering to do this, and it's, we can't move forward until this happens, until you guys give us some sort of a resolution on this. And, we've waited really patiently up to the point of, like, we needed to book all of this, like, weeks ago. So, I mean, we really need, we need the town's support. I mean, we're trying to do something for our community, something positive and good to bring everybody out. And, there's very few of us doing this, and we're all working really hard to do it. So, Leewood's had their fall festival for 60, 75 years. I mean, over time, you're going to get better and better and better, and maybe the town would only have to give us $5,000 after that many years of doing it. But, we're at the fresh stages of just trying to get this going. We found a great carnival, like now we're in the, we're seeing the future and only going up from here. But, we need help in order to make this happen, make this successful. I mean, that's the only way we're gonna, is if the town supports us.
So
It helps to make it successful.
This year you foresee using the full 10?
Oh yeah, our plan is
Absolutely.
This is the thing, is so if you give us 7 instead of 10, this is what we'll have to do. We won't be able to have the National Act band that we want. So we'll have to take a much cheaper act. We'll be lucky to bring in maybe 1,000 people. We bring in a National Act. If we bring in 1,500, if we bring in 3,000 people, the people are going
we
to
have
stop.
a promoter. This is not just like us coming up with numbers. We have a promoter that this is what he does. He does Champaign County Fair. He does the Riverfest. He does the Ford County Fair. He does, all of these events that he's definitely done very well at, and he absolutely knows what he's doing, and he is telling us that with the kind of person that we're trying to bring in, that, average is going to be 15 to 2,500 people that are going to be coming into town, and he's saying, that the bars have potential to make a lot of money, and, we're giving them that opportunity this year, and, we're trying to help everybody out. We're doing as much as we can to help everyone, and if the businesses want us to try to give them ideas to, help bring people in, that's all we want. We want everybody to be successful with this event, and that's all it is.
Last year was very successful, and Heritage Days is a good deal. I'm trying to make sure that the committee is as frugal as possible with the money.
Right, and we absolutely are.
Yeah.
We're not trying. We don't want to spend any more money
Because this is
than
a
we
huge
have
chunk
to.
of money.
Yeah, no, it is. But I think in the long run, for what it does for the community and the money that it's going to bring back into the community for businesses, there are businesses that will make money. Sales tax is going to be made, from the bars getting, they're going to get business and gas stations.
We are working the hotels.
We're going to have Dewey's is going to be open. There's going to be places. There's organizations that sell stuff within the park that are, we're going to be bringing people here. So there's people that are going to make money off of this, and that's all we're trying to do is to, help everyone in the community to enjoy a great event and, potentially make some money and, just have everybody come together for something nice. Because our town is lacking that these days. We don't have too many things where we can like all come together and have, something fun for all ages.
I hope the whole township will come up this year.
Yeah, we hope so too. I mean, we're really working very hard.
Let's discuss the amount. I want to counter your 7,000. I mean, if you may want to, even after hearing them discuss, change your number. I want to come back with 10,000, the full amount that's requested. I think it was last year at the Clark Foundation meeting, I even discussed with him that if this was prior to last year's event, was to the point where he's going to pull it. Absolutely pull it, because there were issues, there were problems, the carnival, the guy, I'm bringing my 2-year-old to the guy who's not taken away from smokers or anything, but just presenting themselves in a very unprofessional way. And I said, if it continues this way, I think we should pull it. And I thought they knocked it out of the park last year. I thought that they came together. It was extremely professional. It was extremely family orientated. And I think that they represent this city well, the entire group. So I think my vote is for the full 10,000. Other thoughts?
And all I've got to say is I want to thank these ladies for all the hard work you put into it.
Thank you.
Because it is, what you're doing is very time consuming.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're a year-round group. They don't get any money out of it, so it's, thank you guys.
How much you think?
10.
I know you're not going to vote.
I can't vote.
I can be sold on 10.
They've been very good about watching what they spend, and like I say, last year you didn't spend the full 10.
I'm not seeing feedback on as far as accountability and where the money went and what's this. I've not heard anything other than at the meetings about where this is going this year. So I'm in the dark as to what you're doing.
Yeah, we are as transparent as possible, and we give the same statements. You guys have absolutely all access to look at whatever is coming into the account. So I mean, there is no hidden anything. It's all out there for all of you to see. And you absolutely can.
And we can get you a copy of the money that was spent last year to who it went.
And
we have.
I sent one to Ruth at before the end of the year. Because she needs it for the taxes or
It may have been just before me.
And Scott, on that, I want to keep encouraging you that you are a good steward of the people's money, and I think you're right. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So, but on that, I'd like to call the vote to approve the donation to the Farmer City Heritage Days Committee to $10,000. Yep.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Han?
Abstain.
Harden?
Yes.
Tessori?
Yes.
Motion carries.
What we got?
We need someone to make a motion on.
I'll make the motion. This is Resolution 2016-5, Heritage Days Committee to administer a beer garden during the festival.
We have a second? Second, discussion.
Gentlemen, this was kind of tricky to figure out how to write this. As you know, we have an ordinance on the books that does not allow public tippling. Any place of public right-of-way, whether it's a parking lot, a city street, or wherever, if it's city-owned land, you cannot drink alcohol. The ladies have come forward, obviously, their thing is that they need to have this beer garden to help bring in this big act that they're talking about. So we created this suspension of the public tippling ordinance for 2 specific days, June 3rd and 4th, 2016, from the hours of 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. For the purpose of the beer garden. And that would include a fenced area in the entire public area of the 300 block of South Main, not to include the state right-of-way, because we don't have the authority to allow public tippling on the state right-of-way. So that would include the sidewalk and the city street, not to go beyond Water Street, and you're gonna have a stage down by the highway, so.
So it will be this side of the stage. And then Larry said, when he originally talked to the insurance, they suggested double fence. So we'll take that, it will be double fence. So that's your running beer passing over the fence. We worked with the bar owners on that, so the bar will be served in their establishment, or the beer will be served in their establishment. And they can drink out in a solo cup. That will just, thing is to draw the crowd, it has to be alcohol.
Well, our promoter said, I mean, just, in his experience of doing all of this, that like, it's just the way that it works, and whether people agree with it or not, it's just that entertainment like that and liquor sales just go hand in hand, and when you don't have them, he's just saying there's just no point in going forward with doing something like that if you're not gonna have the option, because it's just something that people feel. And we've had a lot of people in years past approach us and say, if you guys had a beer garden, or if you guys had, had liquor sales, we would have stayed. But we're not gonna stay, and it's like frustrating because we work so hard and then people don't want to stay, so.
It's also helping two local businesses to pay a lot of sales tax here.
Right.
Oh, see, it's talking.
Gentlemen, also, the liability falls back on the bars that decide that they want to participate in this. So the dram shop and everything, they have to report to the state of Illinois. They have to provide a copy of this ordinance to the state of Illinois. Liquor Commission realizes what's going on. We've already checked with our insurance company, and so they're good. They're good with this. So.
If this draws a huge crowd on it, I have a question about parking. Where are you going to put the cars people bring?
I would put that back to
Well, I mean, honestly, it's just like Muhammad. Look at Muhammad. They got huge crowds and they figure it out.
They have parking attendants, so.
Well, do not have parking attendants. When I've been there, I mean, they're parking all over the park.
It's the IGA and pay to be shuttled. So we have, our side streets are gonna be, the bank parking lot will be cleaned out by the time this comes in.
Side streets.
Yep, we're gonna do the best we can. We have maps to figure out, but we're gonna see what Farmer City
Yeah,
can bring.
it's, we can.
I hope you have a parking problem.
I do too.
Well, yeah, I hope so too.
That's what we're hoping for, but.
Well, it kind of reminds me of an old street dance a long time
Well, we
ago.
are gonna have a street dance on Thursday. And I think we've pretty much handled the police situation, the security situation. The bars are working with us hand in hand, so
Call
I
it.
think we pretty much.
Con,
Abstain.
Harden,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Section 4, City Manager's Report.
A couple different things on here. You remember that folks out at Prairie Ridge, we talked about Prairie Ridge subdivision numerous times in the last council meetings. But the retention basin out there stands with water, it's overgrown, got the ticks, got the mosquitoes. So one thing that we did do is that we had Farnsworth Group go out there. They've taken some topos which have shown that when that thing was originally designed by a different engineering firm, that it was designed with a flat basin. So therefore it's not going to drain because the inlet and the outlet is at the same elevation. Farnsworth Group just gave me that information the other day. So they're going to study how to, with the basin that's there and with the outlet and the inlet elevations already set, how to create that so that thing will drain. So when I get more information back from them, I'll let you know. And there again, the topo showed that the floor of that basin is exactly how it was designed back in '99. So, and over on South Maple Street, we'd had some discussions before, and you remember when Pat Curl sat on here, he would bring a complaint every so often about the Maple Street sewer. Maple Street sewer is in bad shape. There's about 1,400 feet of it there with 24, 26 residential taps. It plugs all the time. Sewage backfills into basements, and in a bi-level house, it'll even get into that. So what we did was we had asked Farnsworth Group, and I think that the mayor might have even made that request, to come up with a rough idea what it would cost to have that thing replaced. Again, we're talking approximately 1,400 feet. And so the engineering firm came back with an estimate of $384,000. That includes labor, that's bidding out the entire project, and that's them overseeing the project as well. I went back, and that is a TIF 2 eligible expenditure. I went back to the city guys and I said, guys, it's only 1,400 feet. It's not a deep sewer. It's approximately 5 foot at the deepest elevations there. And why can't we put it in? So they started crunching some numbers, and Calvin made some phone calls. With the city workforce, you see that it's estimated we can put that in at $160,000, and actually it might even be cheaper than that, because after I wrote this up, I learned that I-74 was going to have some 10 bridges resurfaced out there, so we're going to get all the millings off of that. Keep in mind that Maple Street would be basically destroyed because you're going to go down the middle of it with the sewer, and so now we can cut our materials, our gravel, backfill, and sand by using milling, so we can actually save some money off of this. I think this is something that needs to be done. I think it's something that we can do. I guess basically I'd like to get some input from you guys on would you want to proceed with that, because if you do, that is something that as early as April, if the weather's good, that's something that we could move forward on. There again, we've got 7 guys out there that can do this, so we've got the workforce that can get this done. So give me some feedback on that whenever you want, so I know what to do with that.
I like that our guys are willing to take it on.
Well, it's not a super big project. They can get in and get it done. Weather permitting, there again, when they start, 30 days they can have that thing wrapped up. Then they can rehab the street, have to babysit the street for a while, but it is what it is. But those people down there need a sewer. So it's either, we bid it out or we do the work ourselves. So
I was approached about this over the weekend, and the guy told me that we were going to go down the middle of the street. Is that where the sewer line is at?
We would go down the middle of the street because we have to feed both sides of the street. Right now, the current sewer is on the west side of the street, and so we have to stay away from the west side because we can't damage the sewer while we're in there working on it.
Okay.
So we would go down the middle of the street. And if you go down Maple, it needs rebuilt anyway. I mean, it's got settling in it, and there's water lines that run down through the street and everything. So
now, are our guys confident that they can handle this?
I would sure hope so. Mac, for 15 plus years, the city guys always put in sewer and water mains. So this is not something, and actually only, to my knowledge, only one city employee had any doubts about doing it. So,
okay,
if
we can, that's great. But like I say, I was approached this weekend about some of our employees. I don't know how many were concerned about them being able to do it. I don't know, but just want to make sure we can handle it.
Well, I don't know what the reason was, Mac, but there again, we used to rebuild streets, we used to lay water main, we used to lay sewer pipe, and all of a sudden we quit doing it. And I don't know what the change was, but as you can see, we can save a lot of money by doing stuff ourselves. So.
And I talked to 4 guys. One had some doubts, the other 3 were very confident it was possible. We had all the equipment, and they were interested in doing it just because it was something different.
I think if we can do it ourselves, that's good.
Okay. So the expenditure would be out of TIF 2, so we're not going to hit the sewer fund with this, just so you know. And so there again, I would much rather spend 160 out of TIF 2 than 384, because obviously we've got stuff that we want to do out there as well.
And this isn't going to be in conflict with anything that we're already working on for Prairie Ridge or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
So, you want to move forward?
Start progressing towards this, please.
Okay. There was a question a couple meetings ago about the landlord-tenant ordinance that, and policy that we have in place. So what I did, I had mailed out to IMEA and asked them to do a general email to a lot of municipalities. I didn't get a lot of response that way, so I personally mailed letters to different municipalities asking them what their policy and or ordinances were on the final responsibility of a utility bill. We go after the landlord. So if a tenant skips, the final person that we'll go after is the landlord. We'll disconnect if we're that far along, and we will not reconnect the power until that bill is paid. Keep in mind that we've had several thousands of dollars on the books, some of it that we've just lost out on. So far to date, the ones that I'm getting back have the same policy that we have. Is that they hold the landlord ultimately responsible for any outstanding utility bill. So our ordinance is not out of line by any means, just so you know. And also, just so you know that the Illinois Municipal League, as I've noted in here, also says that legally we have the right to go after the landlord as well. So just following up on that. One other thing, people, you see it on Facebook, you hear it in conversation that our utility rates are higher than a lot of others. Another thing that IMEA did was they sent an email to each of its participating agencies with X number of kilowatts used in specific months, and so what they're doing, they're compiling a survey to see what our rates are compared to Sullivan's and Root House and all the other members. When we get that back, we'll see how we fare compared to other municipalities, keeping in mind that we took a big hike when the 2 Caterpillars were installed. BHMG electrical engineers have been asked to look at our electrical ordinances. It's in the codification book. Nothing's been done with that for a long time. We know that we're not meeting the APPA standards, and this has nothing to do with a rate increase or anything of that. It's to make sure that everything else is up to standard as far as installations and everything, what our responsibilities are, and what the property owner's responsibilities are. And the last thing is that Calvin reports that the excess flow pump down at the cemetery lift station is in dire need of repair. You see that he's got a quote here of $5,600. Unfortunately, this kind of comes about because the EPA mandated that we block an overflow coming out of one of the manholes that went directly to Salt Creek. Basically, it's a bypass. It's a CSI, and I've reported that to you guys before. Because we had to block that, everything has to go through the pumps. When we had that one large rain, there's only one pump running down there. It never shut off, and it got pretty hot and overheated a couple times. So we have to get this other pump running. So just to let you know, we're going to have that expenditure.
Any questions to the city manager's report? Any non-agenda items, other business? Yep.
I was talking to a representative from the Gibson City Area Hospital, and they are interested in bidding for our service. I think it's coming up here pretty soon. And I'd like
the ambulance service.
Ambulance service.
That would be something that's not us. That's not us.
I understand that. I'd like to make a motion for proclamation in appreciation of the Gibson City Area Hospital and the contributions they make to our community.
They done gave it up.
Sorry?
Well, no, you can't address them. Well, I mean, can. You want to make a proclamation on that? I would bring any type of proclamation over to City Hall, and they can write it up for, us to approve it. That's how I would go that route, so.
Okay.
All right, very good. Any other non-agenda items, other business? Police cameras.
They have been ordered.
They have been ordered, so we should have those on soon.
I don't know the delivery time, but after speaking with you the other day, then I followed up on it, and they have been ordered.
Very good.
So.
We got some housekeeping to do with some dates. We have and I'm going to this day, the 16th Let me maximize that so I can see. We're gonna have a city hall meeting, and that one should be, I'm assuming, just at regular time, 7 o'clock,
16th?
the 16th. I'd like to move the March 7th. On March 7th, I'll be representing the IMEA in Washington, D.C., 7th, 8th, and 9th. So I will not be in town on that, during that first meeting in March. So I would like to move that meeting up to February 29th. That one is open to the public, as I understand, correct? The one, the March 7th, we were going to do not open to the public, but an open meeting. So that one is at...
A public hearing?
Public hearing, yes. So we'll need to have that one open slightly earlier. So please pay attention to the agenda when it comes in there, because we'll need to be here a little bit earlier. Huh?
I'll be out of state.
You're out of state on that one. Well, hold on. Well, let's see. I'd like everyone to be here. When do we have to have this?
Josh, that's January.
That doesn't change, I'm still out of state, but yes, you're correct. I was looking down here.
Okay.
Yeah.
When are you back?
We might be back in time for it. We'll be back in time for it.
The 29th? Because I can move it to the 1st.
That'll make it. It's fine.
All right, the 29th.
That makes fine.
And that's the public hearing meeting.
The public hearing, a half hour before, so 6:30.
6:30.
Additionally, I believe is it the 9th that the applications are doing?
Correct. By the end of the
It's a week
business
from
day on
Tuesday?
that. Yes.
I have some questions, and I may contact our lawyer on some of these questions.
Should we set that meeting for the 16th meeting?
That would be fine. We'll set the interview meeting up.
So we know what's going on
Yeah.
first.
So, because we'll want to interview as well. So we have quite a few meetings coming up.
What's the date of the meeting to the interview?
Well, we will decide the 16th, because then that way I can contact legal on that. I think that's all I got.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Call it.
Harding. Tessroy?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Vaughn?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, gentlemen.